Welcome back to the Rob Vlogs, and I have a special episode for you. If you are thinking about becoming a travel content creator or influencer, then this one's for you. I am sitting down with Jorden Tually, who is the most followed and successful travel content creator here in Australia, amassing over 6 million followers across all social media platforms and over 1.5 billion views on YouTube alone. Now, we all know he gets paid to travel. He has one of the best jobs, the dream job. But is it all roses? Is it as easy as it sounds? Are there hardships? Or is it just get on a plane and get the hell to where you want to go and have some fun making some content? Thankfully, Jorden gives us the blueprint, how to become a successful travel influencer and how to make that dream into a reality. Enjoy the vlog, like and subscribe. Let's go!
All right, we're here with Jorden Tually, mate. Welcome to Gold Coast.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming down. I know you're already based here for a couple more days, but a little bit of insight to who you are. He's, let's just say, I get a lot of athletes on here, but he's a professional traveller.
I ain't no athlete.
Professional traveller.
I barely have muscles.
Athlete didn't work, don't worry about it. I'll do the next best thing, what everybody wants to do. So you got 3.3 on TikTok, 2.2 million on YouTube, which is 2 million. Congratulations on that. You hit it at the end of last year?
Yeah, end of last year, hit 2 mil.
I saw that. And then 432 on Instagram. Mate, I've been so intrigued. Crazy. Mate, it's ridiculous. Like for an Australian to do that, it's pretty up there. Before all that, what were you doing prior to traveling and being a, what do you call yourself? Traveling influencer?
Travel influencer. It depends what term you want to use.
Whatever you like quotating.
Influencer has such a bad connotation.
I don't like it.
Around this group of people, I'm not saying influencer. They'll think I'm an
content creator.
Content creator or travel personality or something like that.
Travel profession. I like travel professional. That sounds cool.
Yeah, but basically, I just got a degree in graphic design, Viscom. And then I just was like, I'll take a gap year. And then I just said, I like traveling more than I like graphic design. So I just said, I gotta figure out how to make this work. And then, after a grind of a few years of not really having much money.
That would have been like 18 onwards, right?
2015, I did a gap year, loved it. And then 2016, 17, 18, I was doing content, part-time jobs, just trying to figure it out. Went full-time 2018, and then, everything really clicked in 2020 onwards, but
that sounds like the COVID period though, right? 2020, COVID-19 was 2020.
2020, everything started clicking with TikTok and short form was becoming more popular. And it really took off from there, but it's been 8 years of full-time travel
8 years!
Which is freaking wild.
So you would have started out being a bit of a hippie, no salary, not making money from it, couch surfing. Run us through how, because everybody wants, I've asked so many people I would love that for a job, but it's not as easy as it sounds, right? Because otherwise everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, well that's the thing. I realized early on I had very little money, but I had a lot of time. Because I was I'm going to dedicate everything to this. So I realized you can either have money and do all the epic things in a very quick succession. And then you can have lots of content, or you can just you have a lot of time and you throw all you've got at it and hopefully it slowly picks up. So that's the only route I could take. So for the first few years I was traveling on $5,000 to $10,000 a year.
$5,000 to $10,000 a year?
Yeah,
that's one America trip.
I definitely wasn't traveling
Just no strippers though, that's why. That's probably why you lose your money.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't traveling like that. It was couch surfing, meeting locals, I only slept on couches or spare bedrooms. I shrunk my stomach to 1 meal a day.
One meal?
Yeah, because I realized early on I was okay, entertainment, that can be free with beaches, hiking and stuff. Flights, I can keep that, transport, I can keep that to a minimum with just trains and buses. And then accommodation, I can try and get that for free with meeting people. And then food, I can reduce that by 66% by just having 1 meal a day. So that was my initial thinking going into it. But
so during that 3 years, was there a stage fuck, I'm actually not going to be able to do this? Or were you nah, I'm enjoying traveling, who cares?
That's the thing. At the end of the day, I just was enjoying it so much that even if I was I can't do it for a living, I was I'm not going to regret the 3 years because I was just having the best time. So I was just bounced around the world, meeting random locals and staying and hanging out with people all over the place. So
I can't believe this is the story of I get homesick pretty quick. So if I go to America for a couple of weeks, or I go to Bali, whatever it is, for a week.
Yeah.
I get pretty homesick because I feel like there's no place like home. How do you go with like traveling, like, because your schedule is pretty hectic, right? Like this is rare for you to be back here.
Yeah, I come home every Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get homesick, but only when there's like events happening, like weddings I'm missing, like
Hawthorn playing the grand final.
Yeah, Hawks in the grand final.
Hasn't happened for a while though.
Then a couple of years. I'll be home for the next one. But yeah, no, it's just like I just realized like now my network of friends is like so worldwide that I don't feel as like homesick. But the initial first years, I'm like, dang, like I'm just no one else, no one in the world knows me. Everyone knows me. Like all my friends are in Australia. Like what the heck am I doing? I remember the first flight I took by myself.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm not going to see my friends or family or anyone that knows me for like 8 months. Yeah. And I was like, that's rough.
Yeah.
And then once hit the ground running, I just
So as soon as you got that flight, after that 14-hour flight or however long, you're like, oh, we're here now.
Yeah, we've got to make the most of it. And then, just like, I don't know, slowly just adapted and it just worked out.
Yeah. So you've been doing it for 8 years. When was like the first trip you're like, okay, that I actually got paid to collab with someone, or I'm making money off YouTube monetization? Is that, for people that wanted to get started out, I'll talk about that after, like how you get started out, but is that a time in your life you're like, okay, wow, I just got paid $3,000 a month from YouTube or something like that, and you're like, I've got it? Yeah,
it was mainly like, in 2018 I got my, 2017 I think it was, I got my first free trip to Sri Lanka, where the tourism board was like, come, we'll pay for everything for like 10 days, you just come here and make some photos and videos.
So where were you at in terms of like following and social media presence?
I probably had like 80K, 70K on Instagram.
That's where it started, kind of thing.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird because back in the day, like 2017,
that's a lot.
Like, that's a lot in 2017. Where like now, 70K is like your casual like 14-year-old.
You do one stupid thing on Instagram.
Yeah, like you just get the followers. So I actually learned later that like the followers matter less than you think.
It's more analytics, right? Like the engagement.
Yeah, it's more about like where your audience is from. It's all about sort of like finding the niche that you can market.
Yeah.
Because I have people that make more money than me that have 10,000 followers. Yeah. But they're like, their quality of follower is so interested in their niche that they could be like selling a digital book and then they're selling like hundreds of copies.
Yeah.
Because everyone's interested in that. Where like, you know, travel's a bit more broad. You have to be a bit more competitive, you have to have like either a lot from one area. Like if I was a Sydney-based traveler and I had like 90% or like 50% of my followers from Sydney, it's way more valuable to Sydney companies. But because I'm traveling so much, it's like very, very diverse.
And where is your base?
Well, my base, I don't really have a base.
No. So. Did you start out in Newcastle, did you say?
Yeah, I live in Newcastle. My family's from Newcastle, but and I love that place.
So your first free trip was to Sri Lanka?
To Sri Lanka, and then I was like, dang, like I went to Sri Lanka for free, and then I was like, that's cool. I should try and do this again. And then actually that happened the exact same trip the next year. They were like, it was so successful, the campaign, where we basically got them like millions of views with these videos. And they were like, yep, come back. So a few of us came back with a couple more random people. We did it again in 2018. And then I was like, by that stage I was like, you know, like getting paid $1,000 here for this, $1,000 for that. And I was like, oh my word, like,
this is
I can eat 3 meals again.
Back to staunching people. Like,
I was like, oh my God, I can actually eat.
Yeah.
So then it picked up and I was like feeling good. 2019 probably made like 50 grand in the year. Yeah. Probably spent 20 grand on travel with the free stuff.
And then banked the rest.
So then I was like, okay, like profited like $20,000-$30,000. This is good. Like 2019, that was good. And then COVID hit 2020. I was like, oh, I can't even travel.
Shit.
Yeah. So I was like, I just thought like everything was getting
to like you're about to
it was just
peaking.
Yeah, it was just snowballing, and then travel was all cancelled and stuff. And I was like, and it was like literally frowned upon. Like if I was to do anything to do with travel, people would just be like,
horrible.
Like
we're all stuck in this house for 8 weeks. How dare you go get on a plane and slime your way through to somewhere else and have fun?
Yeah, like it was literally not possible.
Yeah, there'd be stakes out for you for that.
Yeah, so I actually stayed in Australia 2020 and started TikTok and then it retook off. I just was editing old videos from my 5 years of travel.
Gone through hours and hours and
hours of hard drives, making new videos, and then it ended up being a blessing.
Yeah.
Because like gained like I remember when I got on TikTok it was like 4 4 months, 1 million followers.
Damn.
And I was like, oh man, this has got to be like, this has got to be the next thing. You found the algorithm,
yeah.
I was like, this has got to be the next thing. So I was like, I just dedicated. Once I saw it's working on TikTok, I was like triple down, like do as much as you can while the window's there. Yeah. So did that. And
so that's important. Like having a platform is important if you wanted to like take off with this, or because YouTube's the money one, right?
Yeah.
TikTok, it's pretty rare to actually get like paid well for that.
Well, you can't get paid on TikTok unless you're like American or something. Like Australians get.
We don't have that.
We get burnt.
Yeah.
At all aspects, like Instagram was paying for Reels at one stage. Only Americans.
Yeah.
Like TikTok gets the America Creator Fund or whatever. Like Australians only get paid on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think Facebook, but I haven't really done.
I haven't seen anything from Facebook
but,
yet.
So I was still living off brands.
Yeah.
To this day, like I'm very much not a good business person. Like,
do you have someone that helps you with all that? Or are you just like, oh, I've been doing this for 8 years now, like, why can't I just...
No, well, actually, I learnt that I suck whilst on a trip to another tourism board.
Yeah.
And I was I have way more followers than everyone, way more engagement, and I'm like getting paid like 5 times less than these other influencers. I was like, we're all sitting around on the trip.
You're like, something's not going on.
Yeah, we're all sitting around on the trip, and they're all like, you're getting paid like, I was getting paid like a couple $1,000, I think.
Yeah.
They're all getting paid like 10, 15.
Yeah.
For the same
for the same trip.
Yeah,
and you're just sitting there going, hang on, this isn't adding up.
And they're like, because the thing is, like, I was never a business. I've never been a business. I just love travel.
Yeah.
So
well, that's your main thing. I think that's why people like are drawn to you, like, because you're doing it because you first started loving it, and that comes along with it.
Yeah, so I just love travel, so I was just doing travel, and I never understood business. So then when I sat down with these guys, and they're like, all the other influencers, like, Jorden, you got to start charging more. You're like undercutting our rates, and you're ruining the industry. I'm like, what? I don't care.
Undercutting is like, hey, I would love to get paid.
I'm getting paid to travel. I don't care, whatever. And then they're like, no, we're getting paid like 5 figures for this week.
I'll do it.
And I was like, oh shoot, really? I should probably
bump that up a little bit.
So then I got a manager, and like, they sort me out now, like, because I don't know, like, industry standard stuff is so hard. It's always changing, and it's so like competitive. So now I have a manager. They just do all that boring stuff, and I just get to be the creator.
And see the bank grow a little bit.
Yeah.
Now you travel like so how many times did you travel? I've been following you for like probably 2 or 3 months, and I can't keep up with you. Where you're going? You're here, there. You've been to some remote places where like only a few people live, but that's the way of their life. And you got mugged, by the way. I was saying that's crazy. And the story that came, and you found that lady who actually backed you up and said it wasn't bullshit.
Yeah.
What's like some of the craziest stories you've had during not just this year, but like in general about traveling? Because it is pretty dangerous, and you go into some places that are a bit iffy.
Yeah, it's tough. People always say like, oh, that place is so dangerous, why'd you travel there? But I'm like, I'm under like the firm belief now that like, no country is dangerous if you've done enough research, you have enough travel smarts and stuff. Like, a little bit of street knowledge. You can be in more danger in Sydney
100%
than you could be in like somewhere in South America, depending on like the situation. It's all just about like knowing your limit and not being an idiot overseas. But
which Australians struggle with.
Yeah, which is once they're drunk,
it's game over. You fucking
and
Aussies.
obviously I'm a guy, so it's a lot easier for me. Like I have some friends that are like female solo female travelers, and they're just like, it's a different world. It's a different world for them. Yeah. They're even crazier. But like what the crazy story was, getting robbed in Ecuador was wild.
And they took your phone, right?
Basically, I was riding in a park like this. I was walking, and I had my phone, and I was just like doing this, whatever, my thing. And then this guy came on a motorbike, grabbed my phone out of my hand, literally out of my hand, and just shot off. He's like on the grass somewhere shooting off, like trying to find a way out to the main road.
Yeah.
I don't know what went over me. I literally just like flicked off my thongs. Just
Aussie in a thongs.
Piss bolted at him like, you're not like, you cannot disrespect me like that. Screw you.
Like Happy Gilmore when he
showed it was insane. I ended up jumping on the back of his motorbike. I don't know how I even got to him. But 150 meters later, I'm like on the back of his motorbike, wrestling him down the main road of this street in Ecuador. And then he gives me the phone back because he's like holding on the handlebars like this. And I'm like just on his back, like ripping him up. He's like, take a phone, because he can't do anything. He's got to like control the bike. So I get the phone, then he like kicks me off the bike, and I get smacked up, but I had my phone.
So you said you weren't an athlete, mate. That takes a fair bit of courage and some balls to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could get a new phone, surely.
I didn't even think It was honestly just like fight or flight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't make that decision. If you put that decision in front of me, like, chase after a robber or just get a new phone and claim it on insurance, which you can
Travel
do.
insurance especially.
Yeah, like, I have travel insurance. It's literally no issue.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I don't know why I went for it, but I think it was just like, I felt so disrespected.
Yeah.
Like, this is mine, and he's just like, I'm taking your thing.
Yeah, and it's unlocked too if you're looking at it.
Yeah, you know, don't want anyone to see my search history.
Or you just got a girl's number during that trip. No, I need it.
No,
that's
I just got that girl's number. I worked so hard for that.
Oh my God, give it back. And did you go back the next day and you saw the person?
So I went back the next day and there was like a couple of witnesses that were working, like the security guy and a local like ticket officer.
Yeah.
And she like recounted the whole story.
It was awesome.
Because no one was believing me.
No, I did not believe you, Rob. Like you had like a busted up hand and stuff. Like maybe you just like fell over.
So I was like, nah, I gotta get the witness. So then I had this lady like translated in Spanish, like the most hilarious thing.
It was actually really cool.
So it ended up working out, but
would that top the crazy stories, or is it?
That's the craziest story from.
Because you'd be pretty handy to kidnap.
Yeah, there's a few.
You know what I mean? If I was in South America somewhere where I was struggling, there'd be a little bounty going around, surely.
Yeah, you know, there's just this white Western
just some guys,
and
you're like,
got
the selfie in front of you the whole time, like, I'm here and doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's one of the most beautiful places you've gone? And I know, like, Australia, we kind of underappreciate what we've got here.
Definitely.
But when you go overseas, like, what's something you're like, holy shit, this is actually a whole other world out here?
Like, there's so many. Like, I just went to Norway.
Yeah.
And Norway in the summer, like in Lofoten Islands.
Is that when it's like sun the whole...
Yeah, basically sun the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was just insane. Like cute little villages, insane like grand like mountains, like right on the edge of the coastline, crystal blue water.
Yeah.
And then, so that was like...
That's top.
That was like top.
Yeah.
Norway, but everyone sort of knows that Norway's like this dream destination.
Yeah,
so
that's one you see on TikToks all the time. Like, I'd love to go there, but probably can't afford that.
Yeah, but one that's way cheaper, that was just as insane, is Kyrgyzstan.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, it is Kyrgyzstan.
No idea where that is.
Yeah, it's in like Central Asia.
Yeah.
So it's like just in the middle. Like most people wouldn't know where it is on the map, but
I've never heard of it.
It's like the mountains there are just incredible. There's like barely any tourism and everything's way cheaper.
Yeah.
And people are so friendly. It's just like, that's like a place I'll go back to in a
Shout out Kyrgyzstan. What is it?
Kyrgyzstan.
Shout out Kyrgyzstan. You keep doing your thing. Not too many tourists. I'd love to. If anyone wants a travel agency wants to pick me up and take me and Jorden over there, let's go. Now, how many countries, like, you would know, how many countries in the world?
In the whole world?
Yeah.
Oof, political question, depending. Well, there's 195 that the United Nations recognize.
Yeah.
And then with Taiwan and Kosovo, they're like two countries that the United Nations don't recognize.
Like, you guys
but like Taiwan, like everyone sort of
state.
Yeah, like they see the state of China, but we see it as like it's obviously a country.
Yeah.
So it's like 197.
And how many of those have you ticked off?
I've actually done like not as many as you'd think.
Really?
For 8 years of travel.
I'm thinking like 50.
Oh, okay. I've done like 70.
Oh, okay.
78, I think. But I always think like 8 years of travel, that's like less than 10 a year.
Yeah, but think about how long you're staying there for. You don't want to stay there for like...
Well, the problem is I just go back. Like I've been back to probably out of the 77 countries, I've probably been back to like 30 of them.
Oh, okay.
Because I just like, that was fun, I'm going back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun, I'm going back. Like because once you go there, the problem is you go there and it's always the first trip you do the tourist stuff and you meet locals.
Yeah.
So then the second trip, you're like, the local, you've already got friends.
Yeah.
And then they can take you to the places that no one sees, like the better things, not just the tourist.
Authentic places and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm always like, I gotta come back now because now I can do the actual trip.
Yeah.
So it's always like a test run, tourist stuff.
Yeah.
And then second time,
get the content, and then for everyone that's going to go there, get that content, and then you're like, okay, I can go back and actually enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Second time, you're like, I know some people. They've got this sweet waterfalls that no one knows about. You can like set it up. So
now another one I was going to ask is when you've obviously done it all, like you've not have done it all, you've done 77 something, but like when you've done this for so long, for 8 years, if you could revisit young Jorden when you were starting in, the first 3 years are really tough, what's something that you could pass on to someone else who might want to get into traveling and be successful at it? Like starting again, Jorden, let's go.
Yeah, I would say, well, that's the thing. Like, not many people want to dedicate 8 years to like becoming like whatever dream job they have. It's like it's a rough go at first. If you don't love it, I loved it, so I didn't care. But I would say you should probably learn how to use money better.
Yeah,
because
off the bat, first thing.
Because when I started out, I was in like a very like money scarcity mindset. Like I don't know where my money's coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
So every dollar was very valuable. Where now I realize like the more like financially I invest into content, videos, travel, the more the money just like gets returned through like, you know, either YouTube, whatever. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, like years ago, I wouldn't have spent $500 on a video. Yeah. Because I'm like, no way, that's like a month or two of travel.
You have to like get three times that to actually earn that.
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Because after you do all the production stuff, then you can put it up.
Yeah.
It might not even pop off on YouTube.
Well, that's the thing.
So what's going to come back?
Yeah, but now I'm like, no, you should have just done those video ideas because if they're good ideas, they'll eventually you'll eventually get that return. Yeah. It's hard though when you don't have any money, but
like if you do have, like I say, if they're starting out, like, hey, get a normal job for a little bit, save, and then you can start your
totally, yeah. Like people always want to dive straight in, but like if you can go like your normal job and then from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. like after school, after work, you can just like make a silly TikTok. And you're like, you know what? Like every day I'm gonna make a TikTok. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make a travel-based TikTok, and you might be living in. You don't have to travel. Like you can just be living in Sydney. Yeah. You can just make a video just saying like, hey, I'm from Sydney, but here's a dream city I want to visit, and then you just talk about how like.
I didn't even think of that. That's actually pretty.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, like Shanghai is only. You can just talk the whole time. Shanghai is only like 10 hours away, and it's gonna cost me $2,000 for a one-way ticket. I'm gonna get there. Yeah. And then you can bring people on that journey of you eventually going to Shanghai. Yeah. Including doing research on like, you know, you can be based in Sydney, sitting in your room making these videos. They're not like, people always think like, oh, it's so easy for you, Jordan, because you're over there doing it, which is true. It is easier when you're obviously there, but you know, you can sit in a room and still make really engaging content.
Just steal other people's footage as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just use your footage. I followed Jordan on this trip. This is what he did.
Honestly, like people don't like me saying this, but in the industry, obviously, like you can't like steal people's stuff. Yeah. But if you're starting out and you have like you're not really going anywhere, just
might as well
like the world's your oyster. Just like take whatever you can to get going. Obviously, you're gonna get hate. You got to be able to handle hate. Yeah. But
which you do on your footy chat. We'll talk about that in a second.
People won't like. People definitely won't.
Hey,
like
get off his back. He's probably talked shit about me before, but hey, the water's under the bridge.
Let's scroll back.
Someone's gonna find a comment.
Someone's gonna find a comment like,
"Fuck, Bravo the hack. Look at him."
Mitch sucks. How
does he get a game that dog?
Yeah. Oh man.
But a little bit of hate comes along with.
People definitely hate. So you got to be very secure. Yeah. What I realized early on was like, they don't have the goal I have. Yeah. So like they're gonna hate obviously because they don't know what my goal is. Yeah. Now once you're successful, people like they don't hate anymore. They're like, oh yeah, Jordan, like he's awesome. Blah, blah.
He's OG. He's been doing
But it's like the same people that were like 5 years ago being like, oh, Jordan thinks this is a travel influencer. So the guy's such a loser. Yeah. I'm like, so yeah, you just got to ignore haters. But
because of that, like you have to come out of your comfort zone, right? Like, I obviously know who Spanian is. So like even just seeing him, like he doesn't give a shit when he's walking through these places. Like he's just saying, oh, I'll just talk in front of the camera. A lot of people struggle with, like even I do. Like Aiden will be on the camera. He'll know. Like I don't really like. If I go to a footy scene, I don't like having a camera in my face by myself. It's awkward as shit. But if you overcome that and you're just thinking like, well, this is going to be either good content if I get out of my comfort zone or bad content if I'm like shellfish.
Yeah, I know. It's still hard to this day for me just to be like, pull it up and just be like, yeah, let's go. Because it always feels cringe. But at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, whatever. What if it is cringe? I don't care. Like, I'm like always going to try and choose the out of the comfort zone. Yeah. The amount of times I regret not filming in a place when something cool happens, and I'm like, just because there's people around. So it's a constant lesson, but
especially if you're in a non-English speaking country, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's like I'm never gonna see you
overseas. It's way better. It's like it's mainly when you're like if
you're like in a local area, all this.
Because if you're already like out like a sore thumb, like you're clearly the only like white guy with like a camera in like a field of wherever. Yeah, doesn't matter. But when you're in like you're at home. Like, if I'm in Australia, I'm like, oh man.
Can you imagine you in the mall down the road there and you're like, what's going on, guys? I am at the Gold Coast Mall here.
Yeah, it's like, it's so rough. But yeah, it's all part of it. You just got to learn to love it.
Obviously, financial, getting out of your comfort zone and not having the excuse that you're not in that area. Is there a couple others you can think of, or like
basically,
you do it solo?
I do it solo.
Is it good for someone to have someone with them, or it doesn't really matter? Just depends what your goal is, I guess.
It's way easier with someone. Like if someone, not necessarily with you, but like on the same journey. So early on I had like met some people on the internet that were just like doing the same thing as me, so we could always compare oh, this worked for me, this worked, where are you, what are you?
A little network.
Yeah, definitely if you can get a community around you, it's way better. It's way easier just to like learn from each other, because what they're experiencing, what you're experiencing, you're basically learning from two people's lives.
Throw ideas at each other, like, oh, that didn't work, why? And then be like, oh, that's probably why.
Community is definitely important, but my whole motto is just like, if you really love it, you're gonna want to do it anyway. So just throw time at it.
Go for it.
Yeah, you throw time at it, and eventually, if you're willing to adapt and learn and change and move through the whole social media scene with it, like you'll eventually get it. Because people always say, oh, I wish I could do what you do. And I'm like,
well,
you literally can. Like, I could, if I got all the knowledge that I knew and I could just apply, if I decided to like retire and just focus building someone else's brand, I could totally do that. Like, it's no issue, but...
now, a personal question, answer or not, but what's like the most profit you've had in a month, like, that you expected you were going to get, or was it just a random thing that happened on a trip?
Oh, well,
I don't want yearly salary because that's like intrusive, but...
Yeah, one that's crazy is that like, when my phone got stolen... then I got it back. I actually made like... Because then I just made that story, like telling that video. So the guy robbing me basically gave me the story to tell. And that story ended up making like, just from YouTube views, like 2K USD.
So about 3,700 a month.
Yeah, like $3,000 or whatever Australian. Just from
like, trying to take your phone.
Just from a guy taking my phone and then me being like, guys, the craziest thing just happened. Check this out. And then just like, I didn't even have any footage of it.
Was that a short or was that a
That was in a
full
short,
length?
yeah.
Oh, so if that was a full length, like it went for a few more minutes?
If it was a full length, that would have been like...
That'd have been like 10K easy.
I wish, that's the one thing I'm struggling with now. Like, I can do short form. But...
That's the opposite to
long form, I'm still learning, I'm struggling, but that's 2024's goal, is to try and like get consistent long form posted, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Would you class yourself as the most successful like Australian travel influencer content creator, or is it, because I don't watch anyone else besides, I see like, I can't get away from Spencer, he pops up all the time, like I can't.
I would say
you're like...
What I could say is like sometimes, I would never like really say it publicly because it's always weird.
This is kind of public.
Yeah. It is weird to like, you know how weird it is to like represent yourself?
No, it's like
I'm the most blah, blah, blah.
No, that's my intro if I was you.
Yeah, but sometimes with my manager, he'll say like, Jordan's the most followed or the most popular travel personality in Australia. Like the most...
That's a nice way of saying what I just said.
Yeah, basically,
like, the most,
I think I have like 6 million followers now.
Combined on the platforms.
So that statistic alone, you could argue that I'm one of the largest, but there's probably more that are way more successful than me, but it's just like, from a follower standpoint alone, maybe I have a shot. But.
So with the analytics, like we're about to wrap it up. With the analytics, well, where's your biggest base of followers? Like, because say if you did something in South America, would you get like the native, like locals there was jump on board, or is it like, still back home? There's so many people watching it.
No, like so.
What's going on, man? He's definitely on TikTok.
Yeah, what's up? Jorden Tually. You can just type in "dumb ways to die."
Dumb ways to die.
Jordan.
Hey, we're 1-on-1 today.
I'll
say that's his first one. I had one before. Wasn't on camera.
It's always cute.
You did say it's all kids.
I was like, a girl came up wanting a photo. And we're like, "Is it a photo for you or me?" And I was like, "That's a girl. That ain't for me."
Shout out to the young kids watching the TikToks.
Yeah. What
was I saying?
Oh yeah. Basically, if there's a really patriotic country, I've been to the Philippines a bunch because it's my favorite country.
Shout out Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I love that country so much. So the Filipinos, super patriotic.
Yeah.
So they'll jump on and follow you and ride with you.
Yeah.
Other countries, they're like, get out of my country, I don't want more tourism. Like,
really?
It just depends where you are.
Yeah,
Other countries, no. Some countries, yes. But my biggest audience is still the US.
Yeah.
Just because that's just the main market.
That's people
Australia's Australia's in top 5, but we only have like 28 million people compared to America, like 350 million.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then you've got like India that has like 1 billion people. Yeah. So naturally, like India's in their top 5.
So you're definitely going to be doing some more travel in India.
I have never been there.
Oh, you haven't been there?
No, I need to get over there. But
okay, if any Indians are watching this, look out because he's coming over.
I know.
Drop a comment where you should travel in India.
Yeah, please. But yeah, so it's all spread out, but with the algorithm these days, I just like, You can just basically tell, oh, you want to target Americans? I can make a video that can give Americans...
Specifically get them going. So what's next is 2024. This is coming out probably early January. 2024, what's on it for you? Like, you've just come back to Australia, tick that off for Christmas, seen the fam.
Yeah, seen the fam, refreshed for the new year. Yeah. I got like 1 gig every month for the next 6 months.
Really?
That's planned right now. So like, end of the month, I'm in Miami, world's largest cruise ship, which is kind of cool.
Oh, what? That'd be sick.
That's gonna be fun. So that'll be like end of the month, and then I have another month where I'm not really doing much. Then I'm trying to make my way down to Antarctica. So
now, how hard is that?
I was gonna say, have you done all the continents?
Yeah.
This is the year. I got a gig in like end of March.
Yeah.
Where I'm going to Antarctica with a cruise company. So like they run trips all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just ripping on one of the ships.
Just jumping on board.
Yeah, making a video for them.
That's gonna be pretty crazy though.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's gonna be like once in a lifetime sort of vibe. Yeah. So super stoked for that.
Is that like a week there, or what is that?
Yeah, that'll be 10 days. Shit. So that's the thing. I sort of like, I have to be in Miami there, and then at the bottom of Argentina at the end of March. So then I'll just fill it in.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, oh, I'll do some stuff in America. Then I'll like go to South America, do some stuff, and
do you find events that you might like to go check out? Is that how?
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, I haven't been there, or someone said I just met something in Miami.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like, sometimes events. Sometimes I'm just like ask a friend or like see a beautiful mountain. I'm like, oh, I want to see that mountain.
Yeah.
Go there. Saw it.
Oh, saw it. Tick it off photo. Hey guys, I'm here.
I don't know, just whatever. Now I'm more inclined to go places. It sounds bad because of social media, but I'm like, if it's a good video or a good concept or it's like a really unique idea, I'm more inclined to be like, oh, I want to do it.
100%.
So
that's not a bad thing to say.
Yeah,
you're not going to go to something boring.
That's true.
And
people always go like, oh, you're only traveling for social media.
Well, fuck it, of course I am.
Yeah,
God,
like,
can you people just, like, I don't know if you're that dumb, but just, that's life.
Oh, man.
Is that just me or no?
A little better than overseas as well.
Like,
Americans,
I don't want to.
We can tolerate more, but there's some people overseas that just get on your back.
It's America, but I'll say it, not him, because he loves you guys over there.
I do actually love America, top 5 countries.
No, it's good to go, but
I would love to live there, but the visa's hard.
LA?
I love New York.
Love New York, yeah.
New York is such a cool city. It's so freaking expensive though. I don't think I could survive long.
No, you just got to get a mad sponsor for a whole month, like a couple months.
Just got to find an American girlfriend.
Yeah, so then get married, then you got the visa.
Yeah,
sorted,
that's the dream.
Yeah, but then you're married.
And then you have to pay the tax.
Don't have to be
But then you have to pay the American tax.
Yeah.
No,
you lose either way.
Then you go to Bahamas. Sorry you've been there.
You've already sorted it out.
No, well, I don't want to go say anything, but I've done my research.
Financial advice from...
Shouting to Curious, if you're watching. I'm going to have to come over somewhere and meet you during the year, I think, for another catch-up.
We've got to hit a trip.
That's something accessible.
I'm always down for a trip.
We'll get onto that. Aiden, you'll be onto that soon, surely?
Let's do it.
Let's do it? Why not?
Let's go.
Cheers, thanks for coming on.
Epic.
Go Hawthorn.
Oh, let's go. Go the Hawks. Go the Hawks.